Welcome back to the Franco and Friends YouTube channel. My name is Mark. On this channel, I share my experiences fathering a child on the autism spectrum. And in today's video, we're going to dive in and we're going to talk all about sleep hygiene. What is it? And then we're going to answer the question, can it help your autistic child? So stick around. All right, fam, welcome back to the channel. Like I said in the intro, in today's video, we're going to talk about sleep hygiene. But before we do that, we have two quick things to go over. Number one, I am not a doctor or a medical professional. Nothing I say should be taken as medical or professional advice. All I'm doing is sharing our journey with you. So make sure you do your own research before changing or implementing any of the strategies discussed throughout any of my videos. And then number two, on this channel, we have what I like to call the agreement or the buddy system. And all that is if you watch my videos, you feel like you get any value from them and you want to watch all of my videos completely for free, all as I ask is that you subscribe to the channel. So we're going to shake on it. And that is, if you like it, you got value. All I ask is that you subscribe to the channel. That's it. It's quick, it's easy, and best of all, it is free. All right, now let's dive right into the video and let's talk about sleep hygiene. So having good sleep hygiene means that you have good, consistent daily routines in a bedroom environment that are conducive to getting good quality sleep. Having good sleep hygiene can help our children fall asleep faster, sleep longer, and get better quality sleep so that when they wake up in the morning, they feel refreshed, they feel good, clear-headed, and they're happy and excited to go about the day. But on the opposite side, having poor sleep hygiene can actually hurt our quality of sleep and the duration of our sleep. And many people simply do not understand how much our behaviors and our choices throughout the day impact our sleep quality. Now, this includes everything from the foods that we eat, our drink choices, our routines, our schedules, essentially anything that influences our ability to get good quality sleep. Okay, so now that you know how important sleep is, you know what sleep hygiene is, let's dive into some different ways that we can help our children improve their sleep hygiene and hopefully improve their sleep quality. So number one, we have routines. And as you know, so many of our autistic children thrive with routines. So it would make sense that having a nightly routine would be beneficial to them getting better quality sleep. And another reason that we want our children to have a consistent nightly routine is because what that does is it trains the body and the brain to know that every night when we, for example, we take a bath, we read a book, we do whatever, right? We do these things, we do these series of events, and this means it's time for bed. So over time, once you continuously do this over and over and over, you're training the body and the brain to understand that when we do these things, it's time for bed. And there are really two different routines that we want to focus on. Number one is the one that I just talked about, and that's having the same nightly routine every single night, doing these same series of events to train the body and the brain to understand that when we do these things, it's time for bed. And then the second routine is the circadian rhythm, right? We want our children going to sleep at the same time every night and waking up at the same time every morning. Now, obviously, it's going to vary a little bit, but generally speaking, we want it as consistent as possible. Okay, and then number two, we want to create a sleep-friendly environment. And we can do this a couple different ways. Number one, we want the room as dark as our children will tolerate. And then number two, we want to keep the temperature on the cooler side. Studies show that between 66 to 70 degrees Fahrenheit is generally the target range for good quality sleep. For us and for my son, for our family, we generally like it on the cooler side. We keep it around 64 to 66 degrees. And I know this kind of sounds like I'm saying to throw your child in a dark, cold cave, and that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying have it as cool and as dark as your child will tolerate. And hopefully that will help to get your child better sleep quality. And then number three, no screen times at least an hour before bedtime. Now, ideally, it would be at least 2 hours, maybe 3 hours, okay? And I know this one might sound kind of weird, right? Because in our brains, we typically think that our children being on their phones, playing games, watching YouTube, doing these things helps to calm them down and get them ready for bed. But it actually literally does the opposite, because what screen time does, it does a few different things. But one of the things that it does is it excites the brain and makes it more difficult for our children to fall asleep. And it also prevents them from getting into that deep restorative sleep that we really want them to get into, so that when they wake up in the morning, they feel clear-headed and refreshed, and they're happy and they're ready to go for the day. Number four, use sleep sounds to improve sleep environment. So what you can do, you can use YouTube, or there's an app called Calm. And what you can do is you can go on there and you can find sleep music to help your child with sleep. So what you really want to be looking for is alpha, theta, and delta wave music. And you can also look up binaural beats for sleep. So if you go on YouTube or you go to the app Calm, all you have to look up is essentially sleep music, and there'll be a ton of things that are going to come up, and these things will be beneficial for your child and hopefully help your child to get better sleep quality. Now, every child is different, so you're going to have to try out a few different things and see what works for your child. And then number 5, we want to address our children's sensory needs. Now, all of our children are very different, so what one child needs may be very different from what another child needs. Now, my son, every single night he uses a sensory swing. Your child may not particularly like a sensory swing. Maybe your child wants a weighted blanket, or your child wants one of those sheets, a compression sheet, right? Every child is going to be different. So you're going to have to feel it out, see what your child needs, and then you're going to want to address their sensory needs. Number 6, help your child with the transition. Sometimes our children simply do not want to go to bed because they're having fun. They're playing. They're in the middle of something. Maybe they're watching a video. They're whatever it is, right? And they simply just don't want to go to bed, which is completely understandable because think about it. If you're in the middle of something, generally speaking, you don't want to stop what you're doing and go to bed. So what we can do is we can help them with the transition, and we can do this a few different ways. Number 1, we can give them warnings, tell them, okay, in about 20 minutes, it's time for bed. And then you're going to give them a warning every 5 minutes. Okay, 15 minutes, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, give them a 1-minute warning. Okay, it's time for bed. And what we do is we allow our son to request 1 more minute, because what this does is it gives him a feeling of control, and it allows him to kind of control his environment and just feel like he's got that little bit of leeway. But one thing is, make sure if you choose this, you only allow your child to request 1 more minute one time, because that can turn into a routine and a behavior. And then your child is requesting 1 more minute 10 different times, and they're getting an additional 10 minutes on top of what you originally said. And then another thing that you can do to help your child with the transition is maybe allow them to take one of their favorite toys to bed, maybe a teddy bear or whatever it is for your child. Just make sure it's safe, obviously, right? We don't want them taking anything that's going to be dangerous that can hurt them throughout the night. So make sure it's safe. Maybe it's a teddy bear, like I said, their favorite plush toy, but whatever it is, maybe it will help to ease the transition from what they're doing to going to bed. But again, make sure that it's nothing dangerous, nothing that can wrap around their neck, nothing that can hurt them, okay? We want to obviously be very safe, and we want to be mindful of what we're allowing our children to take to bed. Number 7, create a stable sleep environment. We really want to keep the environment stable throughout the entire night. So however they fall asleep, we want to keep it that way throughout the entire night. Maybe they fall asleep with the TV on, so we want to keep that on throughout the night. Maybe they fall asleep with music, like we mentioned earlier. So we want to keep that on throughout the night, because if you change the environment while they're sleeping and they wake up in the middle of the night, they're going to sense a change in their environment. And it's going to put them on high alert, and it's probably going to be more difficult for them to fall asleep. And they're probably going to be more likely to run to your bed because they're going to feel uncomfortable, and it might actually wake them up out of their sleep. So we really want to do our best to keep the environment stable throughout the entire night. And by keeping the environment stable throughout the night, the better chance they have if they wake up during the night falling back asleep. Because like I said, if they wake up in the middle of the night and there's a change in their environment, they're going to be on high alert, and the odds are they're going to have a difficult time falling back asleep, and a better chance that they're going to run into your bed and spend the entire night with you. All right, guys, so I hope these sleep hygiene hacks help your child to get better quality sleep. Now, one more thing before I let you guys go. If you guys are lost, confused, overwhelmed, don't know what to do with all this information, I get it, because I was exactly where you are right now when I was first getting started on this journey. So I invite you to check out the Franco and Friends Autism Academy. We have everything that you need to feel confident supporting your autistic child. So if you want to learn more about it, click the link below this video. You can experience it risk-free for 7 days. All you have to lose is progress. So I'll see you on the other side. I appreciate you, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.